Well then, hello everybody and welcome back to TTTV. This is TTL F1 and we are live for Season 11, Round 11, which takes us to the German Grand Prix at the legendary Hockenheim Ring. My name is Kieran McGinley and, well, the German Grand Prix after a week where PlayStation went off air. Pretty much is what you could call it, and disrupted the state of play on Tuesday, which meant everything had to be moved a Tuesday or Thursday across. So I missed out on the chance to commentate on the classic race, and I'm really mad. But if you haven't seen that, go watch it. It was a fantastic race. Very few finishes, that's all I'll say about it. However, Lambo triumphed over all to take away the Classic Cup trophy, and well, he's had a little bit of bad luck in most league races he's done. However, he really conquered all on that one. It was great to see him finally get that much deserved trophy on his hands. So the German Grand Prix then, we first raced here in 1970. And that year, the world champion to be Jochen Rindt won the race by just 0.7 seconds over Jackie Ickx. And up until 2002, obviously the Hockenheim Ring was a massive behemoth, almost 7-kilometre track filled with straights, corners, went through the forest, and well, it was a sight to behold when you saw it. So it was a great track. Unfortunately though, due to safety reasons, the fact that it was going through a forest as well, the track was redesigned in 2002. But I wouldn't say it's any less quicker. Sebastian Vettel on his 2018 pole lap managed to record an average of 231 kilometers per hour. So it's definitely not definitely no slouch when it comes to being a great racetrack, and it's provided some good racing in the past. But before all that, let's have a look at the drivers' standings. Let me just get those up and we can run through it. Oh yes, obviously Steph was live commentating it. Hello Steph. Of course you were. Anyway, so the standings as it is so far. Poe is leading the way on 141 points. Spike and Lambo joint second on 135. And it's Squeezy in fourth on 121. Lighty in fifth on 70 points. Technique in sixth on 46. Siege and Maze tied for seventh on 43 points. Blizzard is in ninth as a reserve. He's on 40 points. Ollie is 10th on 39. Tied with Steph, who is also on 39. Z3 is in 12th on 31 points. Alan K 13th on 22. Sean and Damien tied on 14th on 17 points. Tractor, Weed Nation and LMFC all tied on 10 points in 16th place. Onyx is in 19th on 8 points. Plaster is in 20th on 6 points. Clifford is in 21st on 4 points. Jay is 22nd on 1 lone point. We come to the constructors then. Renault lead the way, and it's very tight at the top though. On 167 points, Toro Rosso are in second on 166, McLaren are third on 163, Sauber are in fourth on 157. It is so close between the top four constructors. And we have Williams in fifth on 85, Ferrari in sixth on 76, Haas are in seventh on 61, Mercedes in eighth on 56, Red Bull in ninth on 46, Force India still 10th on 14 points, but they are getting some points behind them. That's the most important thing. So we come to the German Grand Prix then. The track itself is a very interesting one. You got two DRS zones, one just out of the exit of turn 1 towards turn 2, and you've also got that massive curve straight as you head towards the hairpin of turn 6. Look out for the overtakes that will be happening here. This is a main point, the hairpin, of where those overtakes are going to happen. You've also got the overtaking opportunity of turn 2, 3 and 4. Obviously that slalom section. It's a pretty good place to try and make a move. You'll be stuck on the outside of turn 4, on the exit. However, it does set you up very, very nicely for turn 6, as you'll be on the inside for it. And obviously just before turn 13 is where Sebastian Vettel went straight on into the wall, and well, I don't think there's anything's quite going to happen like that. However, things have happened in the past similar to that. Turn 1 as well, drivers need to watch out for that. In the past, in previous F1 games, it's been very harsh about what it considers to be track extension and what it doesn't. It's very strict and it's very difficult to predict. Good evening, Onyx. How are you doing? We are moments away, hopefully, from starting this race. We've got 16 drivers at the moment. We'll be waiting to see if there's any more. So let's have some predictions then. Race winner. Who are you backing? You can't vote for yourselves, by the way, if you're watching the stream. That's a rule. Let's have a look. We've got quite a few drivers in tonight. 17 so far. We have Jay in the Renault. I believe. Are we readying up? I don't think so. No, because the lobby host hasn't readied up yet, so we can't be. I'm noticing an improved actual visual quality of my streams. I had to move rooms to do it, and I have to move room every single time. However, the streams come out pretty well. They start off okay-ish, but then they improve to good. The health of the stream is good, so that's what we like to see. May's joining into the lobby. So let's pull up some more facts about the German Grand Prix then, shall we? Like I said, first Grand Prix was in 1970. We're looking to be racing, I believe it's 34 laps around the Hockenheimring. So we'll be covering around about 154 kilometres. The lap record set by Kimi Raikkonen in 2004 was a 113.78. So that's the lap record. Expect that lap time to be demolished in qualifying. And well, I don't know who's going to grab pole. It's been nip and tuck between the top four all season. But I do rate Squeezy. But he's just outside of that coveted top three at the moment. But I wouldn't rule him out at all, as he's there on 121 points. 14 points behind the tied Spike and Lambo in second place. So Poe has a little bit of an advantage now. He's got a 6 point lead in the championship. So it's a very slender lead as we come to the halfway point in the season. When we get to the halfway point, it will be halfway through... is it? Oh no, actually. No, it'll be halfway into this race. Will be the halfway point in the season. So, I hope you're ready for the German Grand Prix. This should be a good one. We'll see what the weather's like as we head in. So, as we remember in the German Grand Prix in real life, downpour in the rain in Germany really put a spin on the whole race, including the time when Lewis Hamilton went across that pit exit you see right there to on the word of his team or against his team. It's not really very clear, but what could you say? It's provided its drama in this year's race. Let's hope it provides drama in season 11 of TTL F1. So if you missed the last race, you've had plenty of time now to click off this one and onto the previous race. Blizzard won last time out as a reserve. So he's not here tonight, so someone else can have the turn of being the fastest driver. So let's have a look then. We have 18 minutes of qualifying, overcast skies, looking pretty good. And we'll see pretty soon how everything pans out and how everything plays out. So we're just waiting for the first car to leave the pits. But who will blink first? Obviously, you're looking at a pretty much... yeah, well, the fastest drivers can get under a 113, I know that. But who will it be out on track first, I wonder? Lots of cars leaving the pits, and we can see there the first person to come out is Squeezy, who is he is normally one of the first to be out on track, as he makes his way down this curve straight towards turn 6. Now, this is really the first time I've come to the German Grand Prix. I remember back in the last game it didn't even, you know, it wasn't even there, of course, in F1 2017. It was in F1 2016, but I didn't lead commentate back then, so this is my first time to the German Grand Prix in the commentary box. So as Squeezy here makes the most of third gear there, but not quite sure why he was putting it into the into third gear for quite some time. Well, Onyx has put the wrong setup on. Oh dear. Well, let's see what times he can do. Hello Z3, always good to see you here in the lobby, in the stream. Here comes Squeezy then, towards the start finish line. He'll be the first one to set a lap in this session, barring any mistakes, barring any lap, what do they call it? Invalidations, there you go. Now, there have been patches in this game, according to qualifying, so let's hope we get a much better view of what qualifying is all about then, as we ride on board with Squeezy as he heads towards turn 6. Braking heavily here, that is Lambo disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. So Lambo then, one of the big championship rivals, is out of qualifying. He'll be starting from the back of the grid. Here comes Squeezy then into the stadium section then, into turns 8 and then through 9, 10 and 11. They all count as corners there as we now head towards turn 12. Fantastic corner, turn 12, but it's very harsh if you get it wrong. Spits you out onto the gravel there as we head now through turns 14 and 15, through 16 and then through the right-hander of turn 17. It's all about track limits in that final sector. Has Squeezy done enough? He heads towards the line and it's a 1:11.0. Puts that marker straight down. So who will be next to set a lap time then? Here's Z3 then, coming towards turn 6, towards that hairpin there. Really important to get that exit absolutely spot on as Poe goes quickest now, 1:10.9. I told you these guys were going to be quick, and they're proving just that then. Technique then, a 1:11.4, as he puts himself currently into third place. And Ollie there, 1:19.7, but he is on the medium tyre, the hardest possible tyre. So that's a very interesting call there from Ollie. Maybe he's just getting some laps under his belt then on these set of tyres then. Clifford, a 1:13.1 in the Force India, also on a set of medium tyres. This seems to be a common theme here, but that's not a bad lap time at all for medium tyres. The Gort here returning as he makes his way towards the start finish line. He was going to start a new lap in the Haas. Great to see him back. We also have Onyx out there as well, heading towards turn 6. As in that Alfa Romeo Sauber, he makes his way towards the fast turn 7. And then he'll go through towards turn 8. We have Spike, by the way, a 1:13.2 on a set of ultra soft tyres. Steph there on a 1:13.9 as he makes his way towards turn 2. So who else is on a lap then? We've got the Gort out there right now. Flying now through turn 7 and then through turn 8 he'll come. And then it's 9, 10 and then 11. That counts as 2 corners, that right-hander there. But there we go. Now we'll chuck the car into turn 12. And then coming towards this stadium section here. Slight lock-up on the front left there as we head into turn 13. Then it's the quick 14, 15 and then braking into turn 16 as he now comes straight into the pit lane. So the Gort then abandoning that lap. So Ollie 1:15.6 has gone quicker on that set of medium tyres. He's cut around about 3-4 seconds off. So there we go. Looking good so far, but it's all about getting those lap times in. I believe the tyres are ultra soft, soft and medium. I believe. If anyone can correct me on that, then that would be fantastic. Onyx seems to be having trouble out there, saying that he crashed the first corner because of his setup, so not looking good for him so far, but there's still 12 minutes of the session to set a decent lap time. Siege is currently out there as he makes his way through turn 11, coming towards turn 12, as he chucks the car into the hairpin here of turn 13. Well, it's almost like a hairpin anyway, as we now head through turns 14 and 15, through 16, and then chucking the car into turn 17. He's also on apparently a set of medium tyres, is that right? Well, Siege heads towards the line then, and doesn't set a lap time. So it looks like the white wall tyres, but it's saying ultra soft, so unsure as to what tyres he's on. But there we go. Let's have a look at elsewhere. Jay here is letting a load of cars through, and car number 4. And Z3 is out there. I believe this is a flying lap now as he heads towards turn 2. A first real braking point on the circuit then. As be careful of that curb on the right hand side there. DRS wide open then as we head down this curve straight, on board with Z3 then as he heads towards the hairpin of turn 6. Braking zone pretty much spot on there. Got to be careful on that exit there. Real need for traction on the exit as Z3 flies through now towards turn 8, 9, 10, and then that exit counts as 11. But there we go. Yellow flag sector 2. So we ride on board with Z3 then. This is sector 3 now as we fly towards turn 13. The quick 14 and 15 riding on board there. Full throttle through there. Turn 16, catching that curb slightly, Z3. Might have compromised a little bit his line, but he'll come towards the start-finish line now. What's the time he'll set? It's a 1:11.6, and it puts him up into P4. Spike there is on a set of ultra soft tyres. And now flying through and heading towards turn 9. Oh, sorry, turn 8. Squeezy's gone quickest now. He set a 1:10.8. Fantastic lap from Squeezy. He puts himself provisional pole position. Damien here has gone out onto the soft tyres. Well, it's yellow wall soft tyres. But it's coming up on the screen as... Oh, that's because it's their best. Oh, there you go. You see, that's why that came up like that. So, yeah, so Damien is on the soft tyre. That's completely my fault there. George Roberts there sets a 1:14.7, puts him into P10. Siege, meanwhile, a 1:13.2, puts him into P7 right now. We're riding on board with Damien then as he comes towards the final corner. Lost the back end majorly there. It sets a 1:14.2 on a set of soft tyres. Going for that alternate strategy then. But he runs wide at the first corner. And, well, rather crashes into the wall, it looked like there. Onyx, meanwhile, is, well, he's struggling with a setup. And what sort of time can he set on the table then? Obviously, if his team have tinkered with his car between the time he's practiced and qualifying now, which means he won't be able to change that setup, of course. Parc Ferme will be in effect as he rounds the final corner. What sort of lap time can he set as he heads towards the line? It's a 1:11.7, and it puts him up into P5. Steph, meanwhile, has gone out on a set of soft tyres, so he's progressing his way through the tyre choices. Of course, now he's used those medium tyres. If he's obviously, if the medium tyres are his fastest set of tyres, then that means he'll have to start on them. So this is probably why he's going on to a set of soft tyres. Mays, meanwhile, has exited turn 6 and is now flying through turn 7 as he makes the braking zone for turn number 8. And then it's through 9, 10 and 11. Chuck the car in and hope it sticks. As we now fly towards turn 12. Again, fantastic acceleration there from those cars. Fantastic downforce as well to just get them through the corner. Absolutely fantastic to watch then. 14 and 15. And then through 16. Mays on the charge as we head towards turn 17. And what sort of lap time can Mays set then as he races towards the line? It's a 1:12.2 and it puts him into P7. Lagourt is on an out lap then. Abandoned his medium lap and is going on to a set of soft tyres now. So with 7 minutes to go then, Squeezy is on pole position. Poe is in second, Technique third, C3 is fourth, Onyx is fifth, Sean is in sixth, Mays is in seventh, Clifford eighth, Siege is in 9th, Spike 10th, Steph is in 11th, Damien 12th, George Roberts 13th, Ollie 14th, Jay in 15th, The Gort is in 16th, yet to set a lap time, as is Jay, and Plaster out there on an out lap, yet to set a lap time. Lambo disqualified from the session as he was trying to let people through but got disqualified for blocking the pit lane. So there's The Gort then, running wide on that first corner, and is that him backing out, is it? Or was that him on a charge? I can't quite tell. As he makes his way through then. And it looks like he has backed out of the slap. I'm not entirely sure. I can't really tell. He's got his DRS closed, so he has pretty much abandoned that lap. So who else can we go on board with? Plaster. We haven't seen Plaster today. Currently on his out lap. And he's waited a long time to come out onto the circuit, but looks like he's going for 2 quick runs here. As he now warms those tyres up, puts a load into them, and is ready to attack here as he exits the final corner. Towards the start-finish line then. Let's see how he takes the first corner then. Does he chuck the car in? A little bit of braking, straight back on the throttle for Plaster as he heads towards turn 2. Then it's through turn 3 there. That left-hander full throttle there. Don't take too much of the curb on that right-hand side. DRS wide open now for Plaster as he makes his way down this curve straight. Does he have his DRS open? I don't think he does. No, he didn't. Plaster did not open his DRS down that curve straight there. But anyway, into turn 6 he goes. And then coming towards turn 7, he's got to just fly through that. That's a great camera angle to see that. And that is when we're coming into turn 8 there. Technique up into P3, 111.4. Jumping Ollie there. Mays is retired from the session then. And whereabouts is that then? Can't quite go on board then. Sean is there on an out lap. We'll see Plaster now through turns 14, 15, and then through 16. Coming through the final corner as Plaster makes his way towards the start-finish line. Where will he go? It's a 113.7 and it puts him into P13. So Technique up into P3 with a 111.1. Ollie is in P4 on a 111.5. I believe he is on a flying lap though on those ultra soft tyres. Let's have a look at the best lap times people have set. So Steph there playing a wild card, as is Clifford. So Steph in P9 on the soft tyres, Clifford in 10th on the mediums. We'll see how long they can hold on to those positions on those tyres, because a lot of people behind them are going to be on the ultra soft tyres setting faster lap times. So we'll have to see how they go then. Here comes Ollie into the final 2 corners, but he abandons the lap then. Meanwhile, Z3 has gone out on a set of soft tyres. His best lap time has come on a set of ultra soft. So Technique there going out on a set of soft tyres. Well, maybe he thinks he can go quicker on these sets of tyres. You never know. He's looking to beat his 111.6 then to start on the alternate tyres. And here we come then towards turn 8. Let's see how Z3 handles this then. Through 9, 10 and 11. That's a car going wide. That is Jay up ahead, getting right out of the way. And Z3 then chucking the car in. Up a gear. Maybe didn't mean to go up a gear there. However, he's still on there. Oh, he's lost the back end. Too aggressive on the curb there. Lost that back end. And now has to abandon the lap. Now, will he go for another run? Does he have the fuel to go for another run, I wonder? Does he have the fuel? It didn't look like it. So he now has to come into the pits then to quickly change tyres and add a bit of fuel to the car then. Spike is down into P13, but as I say that, on the soft tyres he goes up into P7. So he's trying that alternate strategy then And up into P7 he goes. So who else is on a flying lap then? We've got Siege out there, flying through towards turn 2. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. We head through turn 3 then, as open the DRS there. And Siege here looking to try and get back up into the top 10. We've got Sean there, who is also following him behind. The two Williams teammates deciding to run together. Ollie has retired from the session, as I believe he retired in the pit lane. Here comes Technique though, who is on a charge here as we head towards turn 6. He wants to try and grab pole position. He's not far away from it. So we see Siege then heading towards turn 12 here, as that is Squeezy jumping out of the way. Currently on provisional pole, Squeezy, but we're focusing on Siege and Damien behind him. That is Jay, who's put himself up into 111.7 on the soft tyres. Here comes Siege then around the final corner. What can he do here as he heads towards the line? It's a 111.0 and it puts him up into P3. How about Sean then? Sean abandons his lap. So he wasn't happy with it and has to retire now into the pit lane. So at the moment with 54 seconds to go, Squeezy is on provisional pole position. And Technique there goes up into P4. Was that? No, that was Onyx going up into P5. And well, he lost the back end there, hit the wall hard. But he's up into P5 on a setup he hates. So I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. Obviously, would have preferred to have his actual setup. But you know what? I would take P5. Steph here, finally out on a set of ultra soft tyres. Will he get himself into the top 10? Clifford also out there. He's on a set of soft tyres. Really wants to get into the top 10. But he jumps, Steph at the moment, up into P12. And he might have a chance at another go here. Plaster's also out there on a set of ultra soft tyres, looking to get higher than P15. As a checker flag will fall any moment now. We've got to look on board, see where Poe is, see where Squeezy is. Here comes Squeezy then. What can he do? It's a 110.7, goes quicker. What can Poe do? How can Poe react? It's a 110.8. He went quicker, but not quick enough. Squeezy takes provisional pole position right now. How about Technique Gaming? What can he do? It's a 111.4. He goes slower and stays P4. Z3 then is heading towards turn 6. I think he's the last car to set a lap time. So here comes Blast then towards the start finish line. What can he do? Can he get higher than P15? He goes quicker, 3/10 quicker, but it's not enough to jump the gaunt then. So Blaster qualifies in P15. And now we have the Z3 show then, as he rounds turn 10 and 11. But he lost the back end very slightly there. Will he carry on his lap time, I wonder? Here we go then, towards this stadium section now, in turn 13. Oh, he's lost the back end again! And C3 goes off the track there. And that's qualifying over. He'll be in P7 for the race then. So, Squeezy then will be on pole position for the race then. Poe is in second, Siege in third. That is your top 3. And as Z3 crosses the line, it is a fantastic German qualifying. Looking forward to the race now. So then, results from qualifying. Squeezy takes pole position. Poe is in second. Siege in third. Technique fourth. Onyx in fifth. Ollie in sixth. Z3 in seventh. Steph in eighth. Jay in ninth. Spike in 10th. Sean in 11th. Maze in 12th. Clifford 13th. The Gort 14th. Plaster 15th. Damien 16th. George Roberts 17th. And Lambo, who is in 18th place. And as you can see, Jay and Spike will be starting on the soft tyres. So odd seeing Spike down there, but he is trying the alternate strategy. Lambo, though, will be starting from the back of the grid after he was disqualified by the game from qualifying. So then, who are you backing for a race win? Who are the flags out for today then? With Squeezy on pole and Poe in second place. It's ideal for Poe here. to try and extend his lead at the top of the championship, considering Spike is in P10 and Lambo is in P18. Squeezy here on 121 points. Could get himself right back into that championship hunt. He's not too far outside of it. However, he needs to act if he's going to get himself back up there and fighting for position. Squeezy needs that race win. So when we think about it, Spike has 4 race wins this season. Lambo has 2. And Poe and Squeezy share a win each. So Poe, who's only one race this season, is leading the driver standing. So that's how consistent he's been in the points and on the podium. So make sure you keep an eye on him throughout the race then. As we get underway for this formation lap then, Squeezy then is obviously the driver to watch, quickest in qualifying. And let's see what drivers are starting on. Onyx, maybe one to watch here in P5. Obviously he's been saying that he's got the wrong setup on. However, he's qualified up into P5. So not all too bad then, as he's right behind Technique here. Technique, very consistent driver here, and has had some good results this season. He'll be hoping for another one. Watch out for Jay here in the Renault. He's looking to score some good points here from P9 on the soft tyres. We'll have to see how this alternate strategy works out for him and for Spike here. As, Spike starting from P10. Not exactly where he wanted to start from. However, he's chosen the alternate strategy. So outside of the top 10, Sean is starting on a set of ultra soft tyres. Maze is starting on softs. Clifford on softs, as are Gort Plaster. Damien starting on medium tyres. George Roberts there is starting on the soft tyres. Lambo starting from the back of the grid. He's on a set of medium tyres. So the hardest possible tyre to get him long into the race then. We're moments away from the German Grand Prix. There is Siege there, quick in qualifying. And just missing out on pole position there. And we know how good of a driver Siege is then, as the AI takes control of that car. So as they now form up on the grid then. TTL F1 brought to you by weakwifi-solutions.com and also fatalgrips.com. Use TTL F1 at the checkout for a 10% discount on your purchases. Right now, though, we're waiting for the cars to grid up for the German Grand Prix as Lambo. There's a little burnout there, loses the back end slightly. Nothing doing, though. Get ready for 34 laps of the German Grand Prix. We await the lights then for the German Grand Prix. 5 red lights. Round 11 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like Squeezy's got a fantastic start from the left-hand side of the grid then. As we look through turn 1 then. Looks like it's pretty tidy so far. We had Jay go off the track there. He did ghost there. So we'll have to keep an eye on him as we head towards turn 2 here. Here comes Spike. Up into P9 he goes. And Onyx has made a move on Technique there. He's up into 4th place now. Meanwhile then, at the back then, a little bit of squabbling here. Plaster's trying to make his way through. Lambo, meanwhile, is up into P15 in the first couple of corners as we head towards turn 6 now. You can see Clifford trying to make a move on Maze then. Down the inside of turn 6. How will this go? He runs deep, and Maze there just about holds on, does he? He's right beside him, I think. No, that's Clifford makes the move. He makes the move. Absolutely fantastic move from Clifford then. As we head into turn 8 here. So Squeezy leads the way then. That is that's Plaster in the background. Oh, that's a massive collision there. I think that was a bit of lag there because Jay's left the session. I think that was lag to do with anything. Meanwhile, Plaster got involved in something there. He's lost the front wing. And a little bit of gravel up in the air there. So that's George Roberts who's got gravel on the tyres there. So I think it's just gravel on the tyres and nothing more. So he'll be able to continue in the race then. So meanwhile, Squeezy is trying to make it just a move there. Here comes Technique down the inside of Onyx into turn 2. Locks up though. Gives Onyx a chance to try and get back at him as he goes around the outside of turn 3. And can he make that move then into the DRS zone, which is not active just yet? Onyx and Technique trying to battle all the way down the curve straight as we head towards turn 6. Can Onyx hold on to the inside line? Yes, he can. Will Technique try and cut back? You know he'll try to. That is Z3 trying to sneak his way up the inside. He's up to P6 from that start. Ollie up into P7. And Spike is up into P9, but not making the progress he might have expected to make. Z3, though, looking at the back of Technique here. This is Finland versus Norway. Oh, Z3 loses that back end there. Very lucky to keep that car intact, though, as he tries to get back onto the track. He's lost the position to Steph there, and Spike is really on the back of him there. However, the Norwegian holds on. Steph, meanwhile, trying to chase down Ollie. Full position as Squeezy sets the fastest lap of the race then. Steph trying to chase down Ollie, both on the same tyres, of course. We look back further down the field. That is Sean here, applying a bit of pressure to Spike. Of course, Sean on the set of ultra soft tyres, as Spike does his best to try and break that slipstream. Sean there in P10, with Clifford behind him in P11. As we see, Lambo there on the timing sheets is currently P13. Of course, DRS is open, and Clifford here looks ominously at the back of Sean's car here. And how will this move play out then? Here comes the Force India down the inside of Sean there. Will Sean give him the room? Yes, he will. Meanwhile, that is Z3 under pressure now from Spike as we now head towards them, in towards turn 7, and Spike gets the move done. And thought about a move there on Steph, but backed out of it. And that is Spike then moving up into P8. We'll look behind then. Z3's lost another position to Sean here, as he's now under big pressure from Clifford here. Clifford on those soft tyres is looking pretty quick on them as well, as Z3's doing his best there to try and keep hold of that car then, as Lambo now up into P12 on those medium tyres, showing a quick bit of pace here. Onyx comes in then. Clifford runs a bit deep into the entry, leaves himself open for Lambo then. Onyx is into the pits. Meanwhile, well, Lambo thought about a move up the inside, but just backed out of it there. Clifford running a little bit wide here. He's right on the back of Z3 then as we head towards turn 2. As Z3 loses that back end very slightly, that opens the door for Clifford. He tries to take it, slams the door shut, and Z3 there has lost out to another position. And this looks like a little bit of teamwork here. Lambo will take that position away from Z3, so he's had a terrible couple of laps, Z3. But Lambo coming down the inside into turn 6 of Clifford, and that was the Gort there, trying to go right down the inside of Mays there. That's teammates, and the Gort has moved up a position then, up into P12. Fantastic move from the Gort. Well, there's Clifford there, you can see, trying to make a move on Lambo there. Of course, Clifford on the soft tyres, Lambo on the mediums, so no prizes for guessing who has the tyre advantage at this moment in time. As we can see there, the mid-pack is very close together. You can see Technique there hasn't really got away from Ollie, as Onyx there down to P15. He had to make a stop. He's rejoined on the soft tyres now. Technique also into the pits. So very early on to be pitting then. And maybe that's how long the tyres last. I'm not entirely sure. Z3 is also into the pits, as Clifford picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. He's chasing down Lambo then. Can he make a move up into P2? Turn 2, sorry. P2, what am I talking about? Here we go then. On the curve straight here then. Lambo looking to try and close in on Sean as well. Look like it's going to be 3 cars challenging into the hairpin here then. What's going to happen here? Here comes Lambo down the inside of Sean. Will Sean try and have a move back? Yes, he will. He'll try it up the inside of turn 6. Nothing doing though. And Lambo gains that P7. Clifford, meanwhile, is trying to go up the inside as we head towards turn 7. Can Lambo get that move done? Sorry, Clifford, get that move done. As Sean tries to edge him out there into turn 7 or turn 8. And Sean there just about holds on from the charging Force India. That Force India wants points, and you can see that as we now head towards turn 12. And Clifford there keeping that pressure on. Is he going to try and move up into turn 13? It's not really a turn overtaking place there. And you can see there Clifford knew that. Yellow flags in sector 3. And is that Squeezy? It is! Squeezy's into the wall! Oh my goodness, from the lead of the race! Squeezy's lost it into the wall, maybe as he was entering the pits. Unbelievable. Well, he's got it all to do now, and possibly a front wing change. Well, here we go then. It's another McLaren into the pits as well. That's Ollie in as well. A nightmare. A nightmare for Squeezy then. Not only... Well, does he change his front wing? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he didn't have damage, but the point is, Squeezy there is coming back out onto the track, and he's going to be down into P15. A disaster for Squeezy there. Meanwhile, then Clifford is now trying to hold off from Sean, the Gort, Mays, who are all catching them. You can see Technique there against Onyx. We had this battle before, and it's happened immediately afterwards. Technique then looking like he can try and take advantage of Onyx here as we head towards turn 8. Tried to find the outside line. Door was always closed there, and Onyx holds on for now. But you can see there, Technique is taking advantage of Onyx on a different setup. Maybe not one he's used to, and you can see Technique there using all the track to try and gain that advantage. And it looks like the ultra soft tyres here don't last too long, because Siege is now in on lap 6 to change his tyres over. So those on the ultra soft tyres have that tyre disadvantage. That's Clifford out of the race, and he's hit the wall hard. So let's have a look where that is. That's coming out of turn 1, is it? Yes, it is. It's coming out of turn 1, and he's hit the wall very hard there. So Clifford then on a hard charge, but he's out of this race. And meanwhile, Sean is that who's that we're riding on board with? Sorry, Siege is challenging Technique Gaming then as we open the DRS on board now. And we'll see, does Siege have enough drag here, or too much drag even, to make an overtake? Will he try and move down the inside? No, he won't. Technique locks up though into turn 6. Perfect opportunity for Siege to try and take the advantage, but Technique on the soft tyres has the traction to keep ahead. Very lucky to recover from that mistake. However, the battle's not over yet. And that mistake has cost him a lot of time to Onyx there. And it's drawn Ollie right into this battle here. As the leader, Poe, pits in. Further back, we've got Sean, Z3 and Damien battling away as well as Squeezy. But Damien runs very wide there. And does he have front wing damage? Hard to tell at the moment. Let's get a better camera angle there. Did he hit the wall? I don't think he did. So he's down to P14 then. Meanwhile, Z3 is pitted in. He's onto a set of medium tyres now. And he's now trying to chase down Sean for P11 here. Half a second the gap as we head towards turn 1. And we'll see what he can do now. He's dropping back a little bit. Here comes Squeezy though. Recovering from that mistake earlier on. And what can he do then? Z3 runs wide. Perfect opportunity for Squeezy to try and make a move. Here we go then. Side by side we go. Down this curve straight then. And Squeezy has the move done. And will he try and move down the inside of Sean? He will! If he can pull that move off, that'll be excellent. But he can't quite do it. That was a dive bomb out of nothing there for Squeezy as he tries to go up the inside of Sean here into turn 7. And Sean will have the inside line for turn 8. And Squeezy doesn't give him a lot of room there, but he's got the move done. Up into P11 now. And yellow flags in sector 2. That's Damien who's out of the race then. So Damien is now out. I really wish we could see who retired and how they did it. But unfortunately, that's it then. Damien out of this Grand Prix. So Squeezy then up into P11. Leaving the battling Sean and Z3 behind him. Negotiate those two cars. Well, in the end, he did. As we head towards turn 1, you can see there Z3 and Squeezy starting to basically spread each other out. And as we see here, Sean will get the DRS from Squeezy. And we'll be able to see here how much downforce Sean has. Is he able to close that gap? It doesn't look like that gap's closing a lot, to be honest with you, even with DRS. So Sean here will have to try and make some move into the braking zone. Meanwhile, we're still on board with this battle then for P6, Onyx and Technique. As you remember, Technique made that mistake there and dropped a little bit back from Onyx, locked up into turn 6, but managed to recover by not giving that position away to Ollie or Siege, who now find themselves dropping slightly back. Well, race leader at the moment is Spike. That Spike, of course, is yet to stop. Lambo, meanwhile, on a set of medium tyres, has done a mega job so far. He finds himself 1.3 seconds behind Spike, who, remember, qualified in 10th on those tyres. Lambo started at the back of the grid on medium tyres, and he's 1.3 seconds behind. I told you he was one to watch. But can Lambo actually come to win the race? It'll only be his third, well, it'll be his third win of the season if he can make that happen. However, we've still got a long way to go. Technique, meanwhile, has caught up to the back of Onyx, as we see George Roberts come into the pits then. And what's this then from Technique? Following Onyx through turn 7. Will he try and move down the inside of turn 8? No, he won't. Decides to stay behind and use a bit of racecraft here. He knows Onyx is on the soft tyres, the same as him, but a lap older are Onyx's tyres. We head towards turn 13. A little bit of pressure here applied from Technique as we fly through turns 14 and 15, then through turn 16 and through the final corner of turn 17. You can see that Technique there is feathering the throttle, probably to try and save those rear tyres, because the rear tyres take a beating in this race. But you can see he's 3/10 back now. Riding on board with him once again as we head towards turn 2 with that DRS open. Couldn't quite close the gap enough though. As you can see, that is Ollie and Siege battling behind. We'll have to keep an eye on that one, as well as Sean and Ollie and Siege. But here comes Technique down the inside of Onyx, then using that part of the track, the AstroTurf on the right hand side. Here comes Technique down the inside. He locks up. So does Onyx though. Onyx tries the cutback and doesn't leave him a lot of room there. But Onyx makes that move and defends well, defends hard. But Technique though hasn't had enough. Down the inside of turn 8, locks up, just about misses that rear tyre of Onyx there. Hard battling, these two. Meanwhile, Ollie and Siege having a battle as well, as are Squeezy and Sean here. Squeezy on a set of medium tyres and Sean is on a set of softs here, so he's got the tyre advantage. Can he try and make that move stick then to put a spanner in the works for Squeezy? Technique here still trying to apply the pressure, but both drivers are locking up, which is inviting Ollie to push even more. Poe, meanwhile, is on the back of Maze here. And as he tried to make the move there, Poe on the medium tyres right now. Maze on the softs. I don't believe Maze has stopped yet. Neither has the Gort. So here comes Poe then in the slipstream of Maze. Look at that massive speed boost he's got there, using that ERS battery to full advantage. And that looks like Poe has got the move done, and he has. Into the hairpin he goes. Meanwhile, off camera we've got great battling here between Technique and Onyx. Technique went up the inside this time, and has he finally got the move done as we fly through turn 7. Takes to the grass a little bit. Onyx takes to the curb to keep that inside line, and Technique there just ran out of road. Meanwhile though, is Siege, who's found a way past Ollie here. So Siege is now up into P8 there. So great battling all around this track then, as we see Technique here still trying to find a way past Onyx. Onyx is defending hard. Meanwhile, the lead of the race could change this lap. Spike is being closed in on by Lambo as we head towards turn 2. Lambo just has to get this exit right, and it looks like he has done. Now he's in the slipstream of Spike with the DRS wide open then, and look at that, he's leaving Spike behind like he's not even there, and gets the move well before the braking zone. Lambo then takes the lead of the German Grand Prix. Technique here closing on Onyx once again. Turn 6 seems to be the battleground for these two. Meanwhile, Onyx is trying to defend the inside line this time. Technique has to go around the outside. That will give Technique the opportunity to try and cut back, but he didn't quite get the traction out of that corner that time. And through turn 7 they go towards turn 8. Technique is trying to go down the inside of Onyx once again, but again he can't quite make that corner stick. Ollie falling away from Siege ever so slightly here, and Mace here has been obviously was passed by Poe, and look how far up the road Poe is now on those fresh tyres. Technique, meanwhile, battling still with Onyx. Onyx might have lost the back end just slightly there. Here comes Technique now up the inside of turn 16, then up the inside of turn 17. And has Technique finally got the move done? I think he has now. In towards turn 1, and Technique finally finds a way past that Alfa Romeo Sauber. Onyx here now has to be careful. He has to defend from Siege here, but he loses that back end very slightly, and that's all the opportunity Siege needs to try and make a move. Meanwhile, Onyx here is trying to go around the outside of turn 6 here, as there's no room for him left by Technique, and Siege is watching this ominously. This could end in tears, this battle, as we fly through turn 7. Onyx is pushed wide there. Nature of the corner. Now Onyx tries to go up the inside, but he was stuck on the outside of turn 11 there, but he makes that move stick. What a move from Onyx to just keep it dug in around the outside. And Technique, who might have thought he finally found a way past, finds himself staring at the back of that Alfa Romeo wing once again. Spike, meanwhile, pits in from second place in this race, as does Maze there as well. We're looking honestly here at this battle. These two are giving each other a hard time because they're being closed in on by the cars behind. Technique, though, will try around the outside into turn 2. Doesn't quite make it stick. And as you can see, both of them battling. They're causing grief to both of their tyres here. Here comes Technique now. He'll try and go down the inside of turn 6. There's Siege, and there's Ollie, looking to try and take advantage then. Spike rejoins at the foot of this battle. Meanwhile, Technique tries to go up the inside. Onyx will try and cut back around the outside here. And you can see there, he got a much better exit. But Technique has the inside line for turn 7. And Onyx just can't find that way through. Here he goes now, down the inside of turn 8 there. And Technique there runs out of road once again. Great battling between those two. It's hard. But Technique finds himself once again behind Onyx. He is defending like his life depends on it. So Lambo then starts lap 16 of this Grand Prix. As we see the Gort there pitting in from second place. Presumably to make his one and only stop of the race. Mace there after his stop has rejoined in P13. He's looking to try and chase down Z3 as the Gort comes in now for a set of medium tyres. That is someone off the track there. That's George Roberts. George Roberts has made a mistake out there. Did he lose it on the exit of turn 13, I wonder? Well, he rejoins the track then. That's not good news for him. Steph, meanwhile, battling away with the Gort. We've got yellow flags in Sector 1, and is that Onyx? No, it's not Onyx. George Roberts has retired from the session, but Onyx might lose out to a gaggle of cars here. He might have lost out to Ollie as we head towards turn 7, and he has. Now Ollie will be trying to make a move there. Is there contact made? I think there was. From Onyx onto Ollie, which set off a chain reaction there. Technique ran deep there, but he's not done yet. Spike, meanwhile, is just trying to negotiate his way through the battling pack here. He finds himself right in the middle of it. So Onyx now up into P3, Ollie up into P4, Spike up into P5. And meanwhile, Technique loses out, and it's now down to P6. The Gort has retired from the session. What happened to the Gort there? Let's see if we can see it on board from Plaster then. As he makes his way through turn 7, is it here? I wonder. Can you see a stricken Haas car out there? It might have been taken off the track by now, and if it was there, it's gone now. Technique and his Siege coming into the pits there. As we see now, this fantastic battle is still going on. It's now down to 3 cars here. Is that Spike here, who's going to try and make it 3 wide into the hairpin? He tried it for sure, but it wasn't happening. Ollie battling hard with Onyx there, and that might have opened the door for Spike to go up the inside of Ollie into P4. So now, do teammates work together, or are they battling for that track position? This will be interesting to see then. What will Onyx do? Will he let him go up the inside of turn 12? Hesitation there from Spike. So will Onyx help or hinder his teammate? I wonder. This will be a very interesting situation. But Spike here on those medium tyres knows that he has to try and close the gap to Lambo. And this battling through traffic isn't helping him. Here we go then towards the DRS zone. And yes, Onyx does let him go. So very interesting then. Willing to battle anyone but his teammate. Spike then moves up into P3. So Onyx then has to defend from Ollie. And Squeezy, who is in P6 there, looking to close up on this battle as well. And Squeezy's been fighting hard throughout this race, but I don't know if he's going to make it to the end on those medium tyres. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Maze here is catching up to the back of Z3. So he makes his way through turn 3 and 4. Now coming towards turn 5. Flying through there. As you can see, he's closing in on Maze here. And Maze is also trying to close in. Maze is trying to close in on Z3, I should say. But Z3 is closing in on Steph. So this is an interesting 3-car battle that could emerge here. Technique has rejoined in P11, so those medium tyres will get him to the end of the race for sure here. As Lambo starts lap 19 of this Grand Prix. Faster meanwhile finds himself in P13, 26 seconds off Siege. Still a long way to go in this race. Still plenty of time for a safety car to spice things up. As Spike sets the fastest lap of the race after being let go. Onyx pits in, which releases the two McLarens of Ollie and Squeezy. That puts Sean, meanwhile, up into P6. Where will Onyx rejoin? Well, it's not going to be in front of Steph. It's not going to be in front of Z3. And it's not going to be in front of Maze either. So where does Onyx rejoin? There he is. You can see just in the corner of the screen there. Onyx rejoins in P10. Just ahead of, guess who? Technique. I'm sure Technique is thrilled to see that sight. Meanwhile, battle of the teammates here. Squeezy battling away with Ollie. And looks like Ollie's let him go. Squeezy moves up into P4. Now looking to try and chase down Spike up ahead. How about this for an interesting battle then? This is Steph versus Z3 versus Maze. And Onyx could be joining that battle very quickly. We're looking at the battle there between those two once again. And we'll have a look at Steph and Maze and Z3 here. Steph managing to hold on for now. This is a battle that could last a long time. Lambo pits in on lap 19. So he did 19 laps on those tyres. So that gives you an idea of how long those medium tyres will last. And as you can see there, Squeezy has done 14 laps on them. So I'm not sure how long the tyres are going to last and if they're going to last to the end of the race. Z3 then runs a bit too deep into turn 1. Here comes Maze swooping past as they head up towards turn 2. Maze has the inside line, Z3 the outside line, and you can see Z3 there try to make a cutback work. Nothing doing. Maze takes the position, but Z3 has DRS here. And look at that already. Side by side as they head through turn 5 towards turn 6. Then Z3 up the inside of Maze. Can he get his braking zone right? No, he can't. He runs into the side of Steph. Brought his braking zone all wrong there. No real damage done. But well, Steph might have got a bit annoyed about that move. Meanwhile, Onyx is right behind him, and Technique and Siege have joined the battle because why not? Here comes Onyx up the inside of Z3. And as he goes round the outside, Onyx moves up into P10. What a move from Onyx. He's on a charge here. And as they pass through Z3, there's a bit close to Technique there. And you can see Z3 is struggling at the moment. Have those tyres gone past their sell-by date, I wonder? He's under massive pressure from Siege here. Meanwhile, the battle still goes on. That's Steph who peels off into the pits then, releases Maze. But now he's got to defend from Onyx, who is on a hard charge. Fresh tyres. Through turn 1 they go. And who's that rejoining, I wonder? Is that Squeezy's come in? Squeezy has come in for a new set of tyres and has rejoined ahead of this battle. That could not have worked better for Squeezy. So when all seemed lost for Squeezy, he's now rejoining P5 and has an opportune moment to try and close up. But here comes Maze though, and here comes Onyx to try and make it 3 wide into turn 6. And the outcome of that is Squeezy holds on. Onyx moves up a position. Technique tries to take advantage of Maze taking a compromised line, but can't quite do it and stays P8. Siege meanwhile has dropped back a little bit. Z3 down to P10 at the moment. But Maze here battling away with Onyx here. Well, Onyx here definitely trying to put Squeezy under pressure here, but Squeezy is on fresher tyres. And Onyx still trying to put that pressure on. Maze, meanwhile, in 7th. Has to do a bit of defending from Technique here as Sean comes into the pits. He might have seen Squeezy's strategy and decided to come in too. What will he put on then? I would assume he puts on a set of soft tyres. I don't think there's anything he could put on. Here comes Technique though. Does he try down the inside of Maze? He thought about it. Definitely thought about it. But nothing doing there. As we look at this battle now, Technique thought about a move into turn 2. But that's not happening either. We look on board with Siege then. As you can see, this battle always developing. Here comes Technique then around the outside of turn 5. What a lovely camera angle this is. And Technique, look at that. Leaves Maze like he's not even there. And then gets that position up then. Meanwhile, that was Siege trying to have a look up the inside into turn 6 on Maze. But nothing doing there. Meanwhile, Onyx has caught, has managed to gallop away from Technique there as they're battling away. Meanwhile then, Sean finds a way past Ollie. Ollie down to P11 there. Let's have a look at some of these battles here out on track there. Onyx is closing in on Squeezy. Ollie is closing in on Sean. Siege is right on the tail of Maze here. As I do apologise if my voice starts to give out towards the end of this race. It has been a hectic one. But I'll try and keep drinking this water as much as I can. Lap 23 of this Grand Prix. It's Poe in the lead at the moment. Lambo is in 2nd on soft tyres. 5.9 seconds behind. Then it's Spike in 3rd. With that Squeezy 4th. Onyx 5th. Technique 6th. Mason 7th. Siege 8th. Sean in 9th. Ollie 10th. Z3 11th. Into the pits. Steph in 12th. Plaster 13th. And here comes Siege then on Maze. In that DRS zone as he heads towards turn 6. And it looks like Maze isn't going to put up too much of a battle here unless, of course, Siege runs a bit wide. Which in case Maze wants to try and make that move back. But he can't quite do it and Siege moves up into P7. Meanwhile then, Onyx is still trying to chase down Squeezy then. We have 11 laps to go in this race. Onyx runs a little bit wide. A little bit wide there from Onyx there. Heart in mouth moment for him. This is the battle we need to watch then. Keep an eye on this timing screen. Poe still leads by 5.1 seconds with 11 laps to go. That means that all Lambo has to do is close in by around about 4 or 5 tenths per lap and he'll have caught the back of Lambo. Sean here has been passed by Ollie. And Ollie looks to try and gallop away. Sean though will be hoping for a good points finish. The next car is Steph behind him, 9.6. But he's not letting Ollie get away, that's for sure. Still on his tail. Still trying to chase him down. And look at this now. The DRS will be open for Sean. Does he have enough? Does he have the speed to do it? He'll try it up the inside. Into turn 6 we go. Riding on board with Ollie then. And Sean trying to give him as much room as possible. And Sean then still on the inside into turn 7 and gets that move done back. So that's Ollie then down to P10. Sean back up into P9 as that battle looks like it's going to carry on for quite a while yet. We are now 10 laps to go. Now is Onyx still trying to chase down Squeezy there for 4th place. Plus meanwhile he's having a little bit of fun out there. He's on a set of soft tyres coming again. And do not be surprised to see him come in for that fastest lap trophy. I know he loves to do that. Z3 meanwhile in 12th place, 3.8 behind Steph. Pitted in on a new set of soft tyres. And this is probably a good time to bring up the stops then. As you can see, it's easier to list the people who didn't stop once. Sorry, it's easier to list the people who stopped once than the people who didn't. So you had Poe, Lambo, Spike, Maze, and yeah, Jay, who did stop once, but disconnected from the lobby, unfortunately. There you can see the positions there, and no big changes at all, are there, on that list? Oh yeah, apart from Lambo, who's up 16 places from his starting positions. What a drive so far from Lambo. If you can cap it off as a race win, that's a record right there. Moving up 17 places to take the win. Well, he has 9 laps to go and 3.4 seconds to find. Can he take his 3rd win of this season and put a real pressure on Poe at the top? Well, Poe will want it to finish like this. Absolutely. It means he'll gain another 7 points on Lambo and extend his lead at the top of the table. As I look to see here, of course, Poe right now, live standings would be on 166 points if it were to finish like this, and Lambo would jump Spike up into 2nd place. And to confirm, yes, Lambo has pitted already. He started, remember, on those medium tyres. He's now on the soft tyres. That should get him to the end of the race there. Meanwhile, Ollie and Sean battling away here as Ollie makes the move up into P9 in turn 6. They are now closing in on Maze here, who is only a couple of, well, 1 second to be exact, up the road. I think looking for battles around the track then. Siege looks like he's starting to fall away from technique towards the end of this race. Onyx still on it. He's 2.6 behind Squeezy at the moment. Let's have a look at the tyre strategy then. You can see similar age tyres. Well, Onyx is on older tyres. Z3 meanwhile looking to try and battle with Steph for 11th place as they fly through the final corner towards the start finish straight to start there. 27th lap as Z3 runs onto the gravel there slightly on the outside as he looks to try and find a way past. Meanwhile, Ollie is past Maze, but Maze isn't going to take that lying down, that's for sure. But so that's Ollie up into 8th place there. Maze is down to 9th and Sean still in 10th place. Meanwhile, that Z3 has made a move on Steph. Z3 moves up into P11 past Steph then. I don't think that battle's over yet though. Lap 28 of this Grand Prix. There is Poe in the lead. There is Lambo in 2nd. They're on the same piece of track now. In fact, Lambo can see him. 1.7 is the gap here. And as you can see, the gap was increasing down that straight. So Lambo is obviously running a higher aero strategy here, because it's really working for him through the corners. And obviously on those soft tyres, he's going to find it much easier through the corners. He's going to be much quicker through there as well. Maze here still trying to battle away with Ollie then. 4/10 is the gap, as Sean also looks to try and take advantage of any mistake that they make then. As you can see up ahead, Ollie tries to break the slipstream. And it seems to have worked, because Maze can't really close the gap then. Is Sean going to try a dive bomb down the inside? And he is! And he'll run wide there. And I think that's him letting Maze back through, and it is. Very ambitious move there. That just didn't work at all. And is Sean going to try another move? No, he doesn't. He backs out of that one. He just came from so far back, and Maze was already turning in. But he did give that position back. Let's have a search for other battles out on track then. There is Blaster running around. And that looks like the Renault of... is that Ollie? No, it's Squeezy. There's Ollie though, rounding the final corner. He's in 8th place right now, 4.2 seconds behind the closest car. And Sean, meanwhile, still trying to battle away with Maze here. Doesn't take that curb on the inside, runs wide and picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. So Sean here might have a chance to get a little bit of DRS here. As you can see, Steph pits in. This was probably him trying to get fastest lap of the race. Here we go then, Sean in the slipstream. We'll move to the outside, which becomes the inside for turn 6. And with that DRS, with that little bit more patience, oh, and that's Mace there trying to go up the inside. And they've locked tyres, they've locked wheels. Both were trying to turn and nothing was happening. And Sean then moves up into P9. With that DRS, it was a little bit more patient that time. And, well, he moves up into 9th place then. 5 laps to go in this German Grand Prix. And Lambo here is closing in rapidly on Poe. 5/10 is the gap. Lambo's got the DRS open. Poe goes defensive as we head towards turn 6. Poe takes the inside line then. Lambo tries to outbrake him. Trying to go round the outside. Prioritises exit. And will he try the move into turn 7? Yes, you can see Poe instantly defensive through turn 7. Then they go. As they head towards turn 8, Poe hits the grass. And Lambo takes the lead of the race with 5 laps to go. From 18th on the grid, Lambo now finds himself in the lead of the German Grand Prix. The gap at the top, remember, was 7 points between Lambo and Poe. Was it 7 points or was it 6 points? My apologies, it was 6 points. So as it stands then, Lambo is going to take the lead of the championship by 1 single point, heading to Hungary. Well, the championship has been so close for this first half of the season. And what an opportunity to start the second half of the season on top. Lambo leads the way. Poe's not done that yet, though. He's still half a second behind. But Spike here in 3rd place has done a decent job from 10th on the grid here. Started on those soft tyres and manages to find himself on the podium so far. Squeezy, it hasn't been a great day for him. He lost it. Remember in his first pit stop when he lost it into the wall. Didn't seem to have any damage. He just seemed to lose the car. And that cost him a lot of time. And then having to stack behind Ollie in the pits was just a nightmare for him. But, well, P4, I think he'll take that with a grain of salt at this moment in time. Onyx with a quote-unquote wrong setup. It's currently running in P5. Is exactly where he qualified. Technique, who had a great battle with throughout this race, starting to fall back now. He's in P6. But Siege here in P7 isn't done with overtaking. He wants P6 here. And he's closing in on Technique by a rate of knots here, especially in that DRS zone. As we'll fly through turn 7 now. And coming towards turn 8. There's Steph with the fastest lap of the race, as I thought he would do. And there goes Siege then, still trying to get away past Technique. You can see the line that Technique takes there. It's very, very close to the wall. With 3 laps to go then. Siege wants this 6th position. And of course, if battles are... if penalties are to be taken into account for, I haven't really been keeping up with them. Technique runs a little bit wide, and that sends a signal to Siege. You can see he's instantly on it. Turning up that engine, turning up that ERS deployment. You can see him now. Any mistake you make and Siege is behind you, he's going to really push to exploit that mistake. Coming through to turn 3 now and turn 4. As we now go through the curved straight of turn 5. But as you can see there, even with the DRS open, Siege is falling back. Look how far he's fallen back from Technique there. That is incredible. So it looks like Technique there is just doing enough to keep himself ahead. Poe comes into the pits. Oh, he's got a flat front left. Front left puncture for Poe. 25 laps on those medium tyres was too much. And Poe may have thrown away 2nd place in this race. He has to pit in. He puts on a set of ultra soft tyres. Away he goes. But where will he rejoin? Well, there he goes then. He'll rejoin in P3. So it could have been a whole lot worse for Poe, but he will feel absolutely gutted about that. Lambo then just has to take care of his tyres. With 2 laps to go, about 1.5 now if you're being picky. Lambo here has done so much in this race. A lot of overtaking he's had to do. He's had to keep his cool quite some time in this race. And now he finds himself 10 seconds ahead of Spike. in second place there. Oh, slightly onto the grass there from Spike. As he looks to try and just get these tyres to the end of the race. Heartbreak for Poe, not able to get second place. However, third place is nothing to shake a stick at. He'll still get 15 points from this race, which will take him up to 156 in the driver's standings. Lambo then starts the final lap of the German Grand Prix. And as it stands then, he'll be in the lead of the championship on 170 points. He just has to lap this track one more time. Well, I knew Lambo was one to watch this race. I knew his strategy was one to watch too. But starting from P18 on the grid at the very back, he finds himself leading the German Grand Prix on the final lap. We're about halfway through the lap now as Lambo flies through towards turn 7. And then he'll fly through towards turn 8. Then 9, 10 and 11. As you can see, the McLaren there of, I believe that was Squeezy in your picture. Here we go then, through turn 12. And then through turns 13, 14 and 15 to bring him on to the penultimate corners. If Lambo can hold on to this, it's going to be his third win of the season. Rounding the final 2 corners. Lambo will take his third win of the season. He wins the German Grand Prix from last place on the grid. What a drive from Lambo. Fantastic to watch. Spike then coming around the final corner then. He'll take second place in this race. And puts himself there. Poe though, meanwhile, on a late charge. Sets the fastest lap of the race doing so. And finishes on the final step of the podium. Squeezy then comes across the line. And a bit of a disaster race though, but P4, he'll take that after all he's been through. Onyx on his setup finishes in 5th place. Siege made the move on TTGaming on the final lap, and Siege now will come across the line to take 6th place in this one, and Technique 7th. Ollie then coming across the line, he'll take P8 in this one. Sean comes across the line to take P9, and May's coming around the final corner. Can he jump Sean in the standings? Yes, he can. May's up to 9th then. Z3 coming towards the line. He finishes in P11 just outside of the points. But your winner today from the back of the grid is Lambo. Well, there he is. I bet he'll be ecstatic with that race. Disqualified from qualifying for blocking the pit lane according to the game. He comes to Germany and wins from the back of the grid. Well, it's already such a close championship, but Lambo takes the lead of it here at the German Grand Prix. Your official, unofficial results then. Lambo takes the race win. Spike in 2nd, Poe in 3rd, Squeezy in 4th, Siege in 5th, Onyx 6th, Technique in 7th, Ollie is in 8th, Maze in 9th, Sean 10th, Z3 in 11th, Steph in 12th, Plaster 13th as the last of the finishers. Jay, the Gore, George Robertson, Damien and Clifford all retiring from the session. Well, what a fantastic race we had. And, well, we're going to start Commentator's Corner, which remember now is a separate stream. So please come and join us on that. As I think I'm coming down with a cold after that race. It was so exciting. It's made me ill. Incredible. But anyway, yeah, so Commentator's Corner will be on a different stream. Drivers, if you want to be in Commentator's Corner, all you have to do is stay in the lobby after the race. It's as simple as that. And then an invite will be sent to you to join the party and to join Commentator's Corner. So, like I said, it's on a different stream. That's the German Grand Prix. We'll see you in Commentator's Corner.